Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz, up to episode 29. We said that in the off season to the Oscars, we were going to make this show bi-weekly.
Yeah, that ain't
And
happening.
no, that is not happening because I think between this week and last week, these are the two most news-filled weeks we've had. I think we
Yeah.
undervalued, uh, like in Oscar season, we have all the awards to cover. But now that we're out of Oscar season, there's so much news about the stuff that's coming both this
There
year
is.
and next year. Like so many
Mm.
trailers, so many like distributors, like and picked up release dates shifting, uh, just like first images, so much stuff. And the Avatar franchise announced the titles of their movies through 2030. So
Yeah,
there's that
yes.
too. Um, but yeah, so CinemaCon happened. So we'll be breaking down everything with that. We had some fun Cannes Film Festival news. I correctly predicted where Bardo was going to be going. So I'm quite happy about that. Plus, we got trailers for Bodies, 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 and On the Count of Three, which will both be coming out this summer between May and August, respectively. But I say we just jump straight in.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
With one of the so we'll talk about CinemaCon for a little bit. I think we should just lead with that. That's probably going to be the title of the show. If you watching this, you know that already. But
Yeah.
The biggest thing probably to come out of CinemaCon, I would argue, is Top Gun Maverick screened and people lost their minds. This is getting rave reactions. People are throwing around the O word. People are throwing around Oscar. Some people are throwing around the Best Picture nomination. I don't think that's going to happen. But with the reactions that this is getting, like it's insane. Like this is going to end up with like a high 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's going to get like low 80, high 70 on Metacritic. Maybe like up to a mid 80 because like if you've like been on Twitter, there's not a single person who didn't love this movie who's coming to the CinemaCon screening. What do you make of all of this?
Well, this is great for the Oscars if it is as good as people say, because then tick it off. Yep, Best Picture, cool, and then you've got a big popular film in your big Oscar lineup. So if Oscar people, business people, they're watching this, that is looking great for them because as I say, they love a popular film to be this high regarded. And if it is, I'm still skeptical. I will still be skeptical until I see it. I said I probably wouldn't watch it in theaters unless it did have rave reviews. I may now probably have to see it in theaters, but that is what it is.
I will say I'm curious to see what the Cannes crowd thinks of it because it CinemaCon loved it, but like I don't know, like what will Cannes think of it? Because if people at Cannes love it, then I might seriously consider Best Picture. Like no joke. Because that means that it's crossed off, the general public plus like the art house crowd. If Cannes is like, yeah, it's fine, it's just an average like blockbuster, then I'll be like, oh, okay. So maybe it's just like, sound and visual effects and song. But regardless, I think that this movie is going to be getting Oscars attention.
Yes, I mean, I would agree with that. I definitely do think it has a very good showing. The even like editing a category like that, I think it's got a good showing. But yeah, particularly the sound and visual effects, that kind of thing. I do think it has a very strong showing there. It's just will it get into picture? Will it be a Best Picture contender like June, like Black Panther, like even Joker was a smash hit? So will it be one of those films? Will it be the next in that club? We'll have to see.
If anything, I think we're looking at a potential PGA nom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that this is going to be treated similarly to No Time to Die. I think this will be looked at as like a good Bond film with its nomination haul. Because even like the original Top Gun, it won Best Original Song, was nominated for both sound categories and editing. So like, and if we look at like No Time to Die, it got sound, it got visual effects, and then it won song. And it was very close to editing. It got BAFTA and ACE. I think I even predicted it for the Oscar nomination for editing. Like it was, and I definitely wasn't alone. I think that it was probably 6 or 7. Like it
Yeah,
was really
totally.
really close. So like I don't know, especially so Lady Gaga's song is confirmed. It's going to be called "Hold My Hand," I believe. Um, and like Lady Gaga, like I
Yeah,
don't know.
this is
I
yeah,
I feel like this is the biggest song lock so far.
yeah,
Similar to No
yeah,
Time to Die. Like it is the blockbuster song of the year. It's Lady Gaga doing a Top Gun song. So
yeah,
like it has the franchise history of winning song, one of the biggest pop stars. Like it makes
yeah,
sense. So like song, sound, visual effects, possibly editing.
yeah,
I
exactly. And then we just need to see now if it will get the can crowd, if it will, you know, if it will make
yeah
money. Because if this film ends up not making as much as people, people are beyond the nostalgia for
yeah
Top Gun, then maybe the Oscars will too ignore it. But we'll see. Like, there's a lot of factors that still need to. Just because it is getting these rave reviews does not mean it is anywhere near Best Picture yet.
yeah.
But it has potential to, and that is what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see this film. Maybe do something. As of now, I'll still be a bit skeptical going into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and like, but no, we're having a great early part of the year. I mean, like everything, everywhere, all at once as well. Like um, another big like possible early contender.
Mhm.
Speaking of money, I'll just address this now in the middle of our CinemaCon conversation because like why not? Everything, everywhere, all at once in its fourth weekend dropped 0%.
Wow. Okay, that
So
is big.
it had been like it had been gaining money up until now, and then its first like time where it didn't like make money because like because like it makes sense. It's been expanding each
Yeah.
week to
Yeah.
go wide, but now that it's finally wide in its second week of being full wide, it didn't drop at all. Like, and it's
Yeah.
now crossed $30 million. Like I said, if it crosses 38 million, that means that the only uh Oscar nominee from last year that will have made more than it is Dune. It will pass West
Yeah.
Side Story if it makes 38 million. It's A24's fourth highest of all time,
Yeah.
creeping up on third. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I will say,
Yeah,
yeah, what is important about that is that shows that not only are people watching it, people are probably coming back to it, which is very, very important if a
I've seen
film
it
like
twice.
an early contender, exactly, if an early contender like this wants to keep momentum, wants to still have momentum by the time next Oscars roll around, you have to have people coming back to it. That's
Yep.
just a simple fact. And this clearly does. It's got, second rewatch appeal, it's got third rewatch appeal. People
Yep.
hopefully will be rewatching this by the end of the year. A week. I have to wait to see it. A week.
Yeah. I can't wait. Can't wait.
I know. Very excited.
Um, but speaking of Tom Cruise, the enigma that is Tom Cruise. He also does another big franchise, Mission Impossible, and those movies. The Mission Impossible 7 was supposed to come out this year. It was pushed. But we have titles and dates for Mission Impossible 7 and 8. They'll be released July 14th, 2023 and June 28th, 2024. Prime summer positions for the next 2 years. And they're titled Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2. So, like, cool. Solid
Yeah.
title. Um, we're an awards podcast. Will these movies have any bearing on awards? I don't think so.
No.
If Mission
Not
Impossible
really.
Fallout couldn't even get like a sound nom or a
No.
VFX nom, then I don't think these are going to.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like I think
Yeah.
the Mission Impossible movies are fun.
And
I
I
don't
mean, they keep getting better. So
they do.
hopefully this trend doesn't stop. We'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah. Like I'm not in love with the franchise, but I have fun with them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't think this is that influential, but we'll see. Moving on now a little bit to Sony's Spider-Man presentation. They showed the first 15 minutes of Across the Spider-Verse, and it stunned the crowd. Everybody loved it. People are like, yeah, there's no. I think there were a couple Oscars pundits who are like, just off of the first 15 minutes, there's no way this doesn't win Best Animated Feature next year. So like, that's cool.
Even
Uh,
if How Do You Live comes out next year.
I don't think it will. I think we're looking at
Mm,
2024 for that.
probably. Probably.
Like, if it wasn't going to come out this year, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But like, even so, I still think that it would be close.
It would be close. Yeah.
Legitimately,
For
I
sure.
think that it would be very close. So, I mean, I don't think that we were really expecting anything different out of this movie. I think that
No,
we were
no.
expecting it to be pretty great. This is just affirming. But now the big Oscars contenders, Aaron Taylor Johnson gunning for that Oscar with Craven the
Yeah,
Hunter. It's going to be coming out January 23rd, 2023. It's getting the Morbius treatment. Dump it off
exactly.
at the start of the year.
Yeah,
Take a previously awards contending actor, Jared Leto, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and yeah, just put him in like this and dump him off at the start of the year. This isn't going to do
yeah.
anything. Morbius didn't make money at all. Everybody hated it, and I don't know. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, so I hope not, but I think this will be more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. What they're doing with the Spider-Man universe, it's just,
Yeah,
they don't know what they're doing, pretty
they
much.
don't.
It's very reminiscent of DCU back in, 2016,
Yeah,
when they kept just making failures and they had no idea what they were doing. This feels exactly like that. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not much more to say about this one.
yeah, yeah. I I don't even know the name. You know the post credit scene of Morbius, right?
Yes, I do. I've heard of it. I've still not seen Morbius, still never will, but I have heard about what the post-credit scene is. Yeah,
Yeah. So like I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
we don't know.
But we are also getting a Madam Web film July 7th, 2023, starring Dakota Johnson. So like I like
Better.
I like
Yeah,
Dakota Johnson. I think that she's a fairly good actress when she's actually given, solid material to work with and not the 50 Shades of Grey series. Um, I thought that she was Oscar nomination worthy in Cha Cha Real Smooth, in all honesty. I mean, she had two great films come out of Sundance with both that and Am I Okay? Two films in my top 15 of the year so far. Um, and overall, like, yeah, I think that she's a solid actress. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're kind of getting this like renaissance of the YA like romance performers coming back. Like we had Jamie Dornan come back with Belfast, Dakota Johnson
yeah,
potentially to come back now, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson with Spencer and the Batman respectively, both making a comeback.
yeah,
Like which
yeah.
is fun to
I
see.
would be careful. I would be careful calling 50 Shades of Grey a young adult adaptation.
Okay, well that's fair. I'm just
I
saying that
understand what you mean, though.
young
I
adults
understand what
are
you
the
mean.
ones who are the fans of that
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
That's okay. We can move on.
We can move on. We can move on. Just make sure your wording is a little more careful.
um, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like they're a bit more confident in that putting it in July.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I hope that Dakota Johnson does well. Venom 3 was also confirmed. Not that we
Yeah.
needed it. Did you ever see Let There Be Carnage?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was
I
like,
thought it was fine.
it was
Meh.
okay. I didn't think it was bad, but like, yeah, I don't know why we need another one.
I don't know either. Probably
I've never
because
seen Venom 1, though. I've never seen Venom 1, so
you never saw the first one.
no, never saw the
I
first
think
one.
it's better.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I thought that the first one was like a 4 or a 5. The second one was like a 2 or a 3. So going by
Yeah.
the trend, this one will be a 0 or a 1. But like
Yeah.
I mean I don't know if you're ever to quote the song, I'm feeling stupid, entertain us. Like if you
Okay.
ever just want to, have mind-numbing entertainment, like
Yeah.
Venom is not the worst thing in the world. Riz Ahmed's in it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
We
there's a
like
plus.
Riz Ahmed. We like Riz Ahmed.
But yeah. Oh, and then okay, so this was weird. So have you heard of El Muerte?
I've heard of this project. That is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody's heard of this character
Mm,
though before this.
no, I don't know.
Like what?
Who knows?
And I
Who
think this is his
knows?
feature debut.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah. I
Yeah. I mean, out of all the Spider-Man characters, there
like
are a lot. It's a pretty
oh,
expansive universe.
I'm sorry, I forgot. He was a lookout in F9.
Yeah. How could you forget that?
I
Yeah,
know. And he's also
his
going to be in
famous
Bullet
cameo.
Train. He's also going to be in Bullet Train this year.
Okay.
And then
Still,
yeah, El Muerto in 2024.
Yeah,
I just
quaking in anticipation for it. Really, really excited for that one.
yeah, ugh, I don't know. This is just a mess. It's
Mm.
just this franchise is such a mess. Let's move on to something I'm excited about. Barbie
Yes.
got a first image, and it looks incredible. Yeah, I'm excited about this. If you couldn't tell, Warner Brothers decided to put it July 21st, 2023, the same day as Oppenheimer. What a
They're
shot
destined.
taken at Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, yeah.
What a power move by Warner Brothers, saying no, move. Um, like I said, we talked about last week. These two films could be contending for SAG Ensemble. Like
Yeah,
I, I,
exactly.
I literally don't care. This movie's going to be incredible. I don't care what anybody says. This movie's going to be great. Um, even if this is like just more of like a fun like summer movie, less of an Oscar film. Even from the image that we got, I seriously think production design could be a thing. Is the
We'll
thing that
see. I
from
mean, we
if they're
will
putting
we'll
like a
see.
Barbie down. Like I don't know. I think that
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig's. The big thing that I want to look at is with the rating. Like, because
Mm.
if this is like even just like PG-13, then I know that they let Greta at least do some like commentary. But even if not, this is going to be great. I'm
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I like I it like Greta Gerwig can't make a bad movie. Um,
Okay.
which I know you would already disagree with. I know you
Yeah.
don't love
Yeah.
women, but
No.
yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say about this movie, and it isn't even coming out for over a year.
No. No. Exactly. I mean, it's a good first image. I'll give it that. But
Oh,
it's a first image, isn't
Margot
it?
Robbie looks great. Give her Best Actress
Yeah, already. Already.
already. Just do it, everybody. She can win back to back
Back to
for
back. Yeah.
Babylon and this.
Yes.
Become the first since Tom Hanks, right?
Um. Maybe.
To
Maybe.
win back to back. I think so.
Yeah. I wouldn't know that stat off of my head.
But yeah, I'm so excited about this. All right, we can move on though.
Yes.
Avatar
Yes.
2 got its title, Avatar: The Way of the Water. Which sure.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a first trailer. People said it looked great.
So.
um, that's not going out. The
Okay.
first trailer, people said it looked great. It's also being released. It's going to be the movie released in the most different formats in history because they're doing like
Okay.
IMAX, 3D IMAX. They're doing different frame rates. They're doing like 4DX, like just basically every single different like way you can release a
Yeah.
film. They're doing it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so like sure, like I think they're releasing like a 60 frames per second cut over like a 30 frame and then a 30 frames per second. Like
I
I
mean, what's the difference? Really? Would there be much difference?
I
I
mean
don't know.
I don't think that each individual one will change the viewing experience, but if you see both, I think you'll and like really pay attention, you can definitely find like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will affect the pacing.
I
But
guess so. I
as
guess so.
far as if you just watch it once, it's not gonna be like
No.
um but yeah, there was a first trailer shown at CinemaCon. I don't know in which format, but people said it looked great. Like people
Okay.
said, like visually stunning. The effects were
Yeah.
great. They've also confirmed, James Cameron confirmed that each Avatar sequel won't be a continuation of the story, but it will be a standalone film set within the universe, which I think is big for Oscars potential. If it is
Yeah.
a standalone film that like isn't working out, like that's what Knives Out 2 really needs to establish itself as.
Yeah.
Knives
Yeah.
Out 2 needs to be a completely new story that like follows like it almost like a tonal sequel
Mm.
with like one continuing character. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this.
Yeah. I also think that's just good for the film in general, considering
Yeah,
the story for Avatar 1 was weak. It was a
yeah,
poor story. Like, I think the film itself is horrifically overrated and not very good at all. Really, like visually
Yeah,
stunning, yeah, sure, but
it's
as a
I
film
mean, it's
itself,
fine. Like it's a meh movie. It's
I
also
don't
just
know.
like
Yeah,
Romeo and Juliet, but with blue people.
yeah, exactly. But
I
if they
mean,
are doing these individual stories, it should allow for firstly more creativity. I guess if
yeah,
you are, because you can afford to go a bit more out there with one story. Okay, that didn't work. We've got one coming out in a few years, sure.
yeah,
So that does should allow for some more interesting, more unique concepts to come through in the storytelling. I mean, yeah, the trailer was received well. I mean, what do you expect? I'm sure they could make a good trailer from an Avatar film,
yeah,
because it's about the visuals, really. It is about the visuals, and if the visuals are good, hopefully they are like better than 2009 ones, because that is really what these
yeah.
films are about. They are about
Which I think
progressing technology.
they
That is really
will.
what they are based on. So I
I
do
think
hope they are better and noticeably better than they were. What, how many 13 years ago at this point?
13
But
years. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic for this film, even though I
Also,
didn't like the first one.
they're re-releasing the first one in theaters in
Oh, of
September.
course, yeah.
So of
Yeah,
course,
just milk that cash cow even more.
just try to reach that 3 billion.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this would be fine. Um, there's a Hunger Games prequel that's going to be coming out, based off of because there was a book written by Suzanne Collins that was a prequel.
Mm.
Um, and they're adapting it into a film. It's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's like that's kind of a pretty that's a solid title. Not gonna lie, like it's a pretty fun title. But it's going to be released November 17th, 2023. We didn't get any images. We don't know like cast, directors. If I had to guess, like maybe I mean, I haven't read the book. But I
Mm.
think it focuses around like one of the earlier Hunger Games, and you see like Haymitch, I think, was that Woody Harrelson's character?
Yeah, that is Hamish, yeah.
Okay, so I think we see him, um, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to look it up right now. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that this has potential at the Oscars. I think that honestly, I think a couple of the Hunger Games movies were snubbed for production design and costumes. I honestly think that they should have been nominated. Um, got it. Okay, so Cor- uh, how, it's about Coriolanus Snow, who I think was like the minister guy, and
Oh, okay.
he was
Yeah.
the kid. He was a tribute, so I'm
Right.
assuming he won, and then he like like took it over. Um, so it's
Right.
about that. I remember Haymitch being in there somewhere. I don't know. But anyways, the book was very well received. Um, so we'll see. I don't know. Like there's definitely been a history of prequels to beloved novels getting Oscars attention. Fantastic Beasts, even if the
Yeah.
movie isn't that good. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I don't care about this film, The Hunger Games, it establishes a very interesting world. It's a very
Mhm.
interesting concept. They don't do it. It's not, there's just nothing you can really do with a concept that isn't completely predictable. Like
Yeah,
you watch
yeah,
that first film, I wonder who's gonna win.
right.
And yeah, so like I don't care about these films. Will
Like
it
they're
have
not
Oscar
gonna pull a
chances?
Rocky.
No,
Like
exactly. Will it have Oscar chances? Maybe. Will I like it? I doubt it. I doubt it.
yeah, they're I don't
Then,
know. I
yeah,
have like I was very into the books when I was younger. So like I have fun with the world. It's a
yeah.
fun world. But
I
like
just think, yeah,
similar to the
fundamentally,
Harry Potter films, they're
mm,
more about the world building than the narrative. The
yeah,
narrative
yeah,
isn't great, but the world building is incredible.
yeah.
And
Fundamentally, I just don't know if Hunger Games as a franchise
yeah,
works. But if they want to make more, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So it's fine. I'm not I guess I'm not complaining about it. Will it be at the top of my most anticipated? No, that spot's are
Yeah,
reserved for Barbie.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
like I, I don't hate that this exists. Something that I am actually quite excited about,
Mm.
and that will be coming out the day after my birthday, 2023, the day after my 18th birthday.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, will be A Quiet Place Day One. a bit of
Mm.
an uninspired title, but
Yeah,
it is going to be. This was the rumored prequel to A Quiet Place, and guess
yeah,
who it's directed by? Michael Cernosky.
yeah,
If you don't know who that is the director of Pig, which was a phenomenal
yes.
Nicolas Cage
Just
movie from
watch
last
it.
year.
Just
He,
watch it.
he should have been nominated for Best Actor.
You should have been.
Uh, like easily should have been nominated for Best Actor. Um, it's just incredible. It was Cernosky's feature debut. He
Mm.
has, I mean, and like people used, you know how many times people, including myself, use the word quiet to describe Pig? Not
Mm.
necessarily like auditorily, but just in tone. It's a
Yeah,
very quiet and mild film that says and does a lot, which is
yeah,
exactly what the Quiet Place franchise should be.
yeah. And it also sets an atmosphere as well. It's a very,
Yeah,
very atmospheric film.
very atmospheric.
Like even though the plot itself isn't really a thriller and doesn't really come across as a thriller, there are these sorts of thrillery aspects to it, and that is something that he can transfer very easily over to a
Yeah,
franchise like A Quiet Place. And I do think John Krasinski did direct the first two brilliantly, and I don't like. I would be a bit disappointed to see him be booted out of the franchise if it wasn't, Michael Soneski taking over.
yeah.
Like, if it was anyone else, I'd be a bit skeptical because I like he does have a very strong creative input into this franchise, John Krasinski.
Still
But
producing. He's still
yeah,
producing. So
yeah, he's still producing okay. But I'm very, very excited to see what Michael Soneski can bring to this franchise. I'm very excited.
yeah. So like similar to the Hunger Games, we don't have any details as far as cast. We don't know if there is like if Emily Blunt could or John Krasinski could potentially be in this.
Mm,
Because like the first Quiet Place movie takes place only like a year after it started. So like
yeah,
when it says prequel, it isn't going back like super far. Like we're only going back maybe a year in the franchise. So like I think that there's still a chance that we see Krasinski and Emily Blunt return, even the kids.
maybe.
Well, the
Yeah,
kids would
I
be a lot
feel
older now.
I feel that might be a cameo though, probably rather than
Yeah,
like they may be in it, but yeah,
yeah.
I'd like to see them take it in a different
I
direction.
I think it would be fun to see Killian Murphy's character from A Quiet Place Part
Yeah,
Two,
that would
because
be
I
nice.
thought that he was a great addition to the franchise.
Yeah,
Um, and I kind of want to see more with him. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm excited about this. Obviously, the first film was nominated in the both sound categories. The second film was shortlisted. I think it should have been nominated. Um, I think they did some great stuff with it. So very exciting, very very exciting. And this franchise, I feel like will always have a special place in my heart because the second film was the first film I saw back after COVID, back into the theaters. So it was a joyous return and a very great film to come back to. But we also have confirmation that A Quiet Place Part 3, John Krasinski is going to be returning as writer director for,
okay,
uh,
nice.
and I believe they're rounding it out as a trilogy.
Okay,
So it will
okay.
be,
Well, unless the money
yeah,
kicks in,
yeah.
and
But
we'll
like
see. We'll see.
presumably we're seeing A Quiet Place Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and then prequel,
Yeah.
which I would be perfectly fine with. So A Quiet Place Part 3 is coming 2025.
Okay.
Was also confirmed at CinemaCon. So I'm excited. I really, really do like this franchise. I think it's one of the few horror franchises to not only hit with the first film, but also hit just as well with the follow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited. Um, not that we ever thought that it wasn't going to, but the Batman's going to get a sequel. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the highest grossing film of the year so far. It will definitely be one of the highest grossing by the end of the year. People loved it. And Matt Reeves hinted that Mister Freeze would be the villain. And I want nothing more than for Arnold Schwarzenegger to come back.
Some multiverse. Yeah. Bring
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
it in already.
The Flash is gonna make it happen, and
Yeah.
Michael,
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah. Um, that Sure. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm actually quite happy about this because I was worried. I was very worried they were going to say the Joker was the new villain, and like, why? Why do we really need another Joker? But if they are doing a Joker, I would like to see him. And people have, thrown out this idea before as a more Hannibal Lecter role. Behind the
Yeah.
gel, giving Batman taunting Batman from in Arkham Asylum. I would rather see that than him be the main villain. So I'm
And
glad
maybe
that
he's like,
yeah,
if they do a trilogy, maybe Joker's the villain in the third one.
maybe. But I'm glad that in this one at least, Joker will not be the main villain. I'm happy about
Yeah.
that.
Any casting ideas?
Oh, for Mister Freeze.
Because like
Um,
my mind immediately goes to Mads Mikkelsen whenever I think of a villain because I think that he's a great villain performer. Um, but other ones that come to mind are Ben Kingsley and Ray Fiennes.
oh, Ray Fiennes. I don't know, Mister Freeze. I don't know, Mister Freeze.
Maybe. What about Christoph Waltz?
Yeah, I'd be perfectly happy with that.
Um, who else? Maybe Rami Malek. I don't know. I'm not in love with him, but
Mm, yeah, yeah. I mean,
who
I'd
else?
take him as a villain. He is a fairly decent
Who's
villain, as proven
No Time to
by
Die?
No Time to Die. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs.
Yeah. I mean, I'd happily see Jason Isaacs in it. I don't know if he's a big enough actor really for. Um,
Potentially.
but I'd
Ooh,
happily see Jason Isaacs in it.
how do we feel about Mark Strong?
Mark Strong. Yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Mark Strong potentially, or Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. I do like that one. That is a good suggestion. Yeah, he'd bring
Strong.
that gravitas to the role.
Yeah. Ooh, what about Benicio del Toro?
I'd be too weird. I think he would take
Do you
it
think he'd be
to.
weird? I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't.
I think he'd need some serious restraints on him, which I don't think Matt Reeves is the director to. He's a great director. I don't know if he's a really restraining director.
That's fair. That's fair. um, but yeah, that's fun. I guess.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker, I'd take out of those ones probably
Yeah.
highest.
I didn't put it on the dock, I don't think, but there was also a trailer for The Flash, which I don't know what they're going to do with that now with Ezra Miller.
No.
But I guess like it's Michael Keaton's in there and he's cool, and he says the like one of his famous lines from Batman '89 in it.
Mm,
Um, like you want to dance less or some I don't know. I'm
yeah.
not in love with Batman '89, but like I sure I don't know. My expectations for anything that DC is going to be doing on like are
Mm,
so limited. Especially something well, let me rephrase, something confined within the DCEU.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is promises the one that will change things and the one that will sort everything out.
Yeah, I
I.e., keeping Wonder Woman, keeping maybe Man of Steel, keeping Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then removing all the all the other stuff.
like Ben
And
Affleck.
I don't know if it will work completely. Therefore, as a movie in itself, I
Yeah.
feel that it will definitely be relying on this one gimmick of fixing the
Yep.
DCU. Is it worrying that I am now more excited about it because of the whole Ezra Miller situation? I am now that has increased my excitement because I want to see what they do with it. I really do want to see what they are doing with it. But
Prediction, I think they're going to bring in the guy who plays him on the CW.
I've seen that being thrown around in talks. I have. Who knows? Who knows what they'll do
Yeah.
at this point?
But that's a thing that exists. This
Yeah,
is not that noteworthy, but I wanted to put it into the document just for
yeah,
fun. Keanu Reeves was shown fighting with nunchucks in John Wick 4, and all I have to say is cool.
yeah.
I don't
We're not
love
gonna
this
go.
franchise.
We're gonna delve deeper into into why he's fighting with nunchucks. No, I mean,
Well, now
yeah,
you see,
sure,
maybe he go no.
yeah,
Yeah, like I don't love this franchise. I think all the John Wick movies are okay to like good. They're all probably between fives and sevens for me. But like
mm,
I don't know, they're fun enough. I think Keanu Reeves is a cool guy,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I I think it's cool that he's doing things, and that's fun.
mm,
Um, fun fun to see a late career renaissance for him, the Keanu-sance, if you will.
yes,
I think I've made that up. I think I made something up there. Maybe
Yes,
that will catch on.
maybe, maybe. Although I doubt it.
We got a trailer for Babylon at CinemaCon.
Mm,
I can't wait to see, like, for the public, to see it.
yes, yes.
But people called it masterful, beautiful, a love letter to movies, so good, very fun. Like nothing but heaping praise for this movie, calling it like a love letter to Hollywood. Um, I this is gonna be big. Like there are some people that are like doubting it, saying that it might be too weird.
No,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
yeah,
It's Damien Chazelle. The man doesn't miss.
no, no. And like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was also a sort of weird take on old Hollywood.
Yeah.
So and that did quite well. So I don't
And
see why this
Damien
wouldn't.
Chazelle is like a far better director than Quentin Tarantino. Don't at me.
Well, okay.
I don't even think that that's that controversial. Well, I don't know.
No, I mean, 2 out of 3 of his films are better than anything Tarantino's ever done. So there's that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take that. But but yeah, I'm quite excited for this. Also, Tobey Maguire is confirmed to be playing Charlie Chaplin. Slid up a couple of spots on my supporting actor list. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I see it, and I'm here for it.
Mm,
So take that as you will. Um, there are also very positive reactions to the "Don't Worry, Darling" trailer. Like really positive. People compared it to like the Truman Show and Inception.
yeah.
Uh,
Which again,
and
with these weird combinations, I feel like this is a third week in a row where we've talked about films being compared, weird
Citizen Kane,
comparisons.
Raging Bull.
That was
Like
it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but I mean, they're 2 films I like. Let's see
yeah,
what they
two
let's
fairly
see
good
what they're
films.
like together.
Yeah, people are saying it's sexy, dangerous, and mysterious, and you want to dissect every frame. Like, I think the general concept of the film is Florence Pugh, like, wakes up in like the 50s, and she's like a housewife, and she like wants to like get out. Um, no pun intended on the Jordan Peele film. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be compared to Death to Last Night in Soho as a thriller about being traveled back into the 50s or 60s. But I think that this will be a more distinctly American take, less music and like horror focused, and more of
Hmm.
like a thriller. Um, I don't know. I think that Olivia Wilde was really close to an Oscar nomination for Booksmart in the screenplay category.
Yeah.
I think that this will break through. I don't know. I feel like we typically see this trend. I brought this up with Cooper Rafe last week, where like we'll see like a director will make a debut that's like it hits big, and then it hits big with critics, not with the Oscars, and then their follow up is the breakthrough. Even if it isn't their debut, like for instance, the Safdie brothers with Uncut Gems, that hit big with critics. It almost made it to the Oscars, and I think that their next movie is going to be a slam dunk for the Academy
Yeah.
Award.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Hopefully, because like yeah, they did Good Time before it, but like that didn't really break through in the same way that Uncut Gems did
No,
into
no.
the award circuit. So like following that pattern, I think Don't Worry, Darling could be pretty big, especially considering how much people are seeming to love this trailer.
Yeah. Well.
And this one, I think that we should be getting fairly soon because the movie's in September. So,
Okay. So yeah, quite soon then. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this film. Looking forward to this film. Currently, not really in my Oscar predictions, but I'm still. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Let's see what it does.
yep, for sure. Um, we got footage. I say we. CinemaCon got footage of "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret." Um, we talked about this movie like a bit ago. It stars Rachel McAdams. It's a classic novel by Judy Blume. I shouldn't even say like classic, but it is a 70s novel. And it's about a sixth grade girl who has grown up without religious affiliation due to her parents' interfaith marriage. And it's about like struggling with like religious identity. So like
Okay.
I it could be good. I don't see this being that big. I mean, but I guess we can see people like the footage at CinemaCon, so
Mm.
we'll have to
Maybe,
see. But
maybe.
I've heard very little about this film. It's being who was directing it? I remember
I've
I remember somebody like kind of note. Oh, the James L. Brooks, Edge of 17.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Um, and well, James L. Brooks producing, and then Kelly from Craig directing. Yeah, James L. Brooks didn't direct the Edge of 17, but he produced it.
Mm.
With Kelly from and Craig directing, so they're producing directing. For Lionsgate. So I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of the Safdie brothers, Benny Safdie is acting in this, so that's kind of
Mm.
fun.
Nice, nice.
Um, but yeah, maybe. Um, this is kind of interesting. I just had to, control F and update my Google Sheets. Canterbury Glass now has a title, and it's Amsterdam. I don't know why
Mm.
we were doing this with movies, like why Licorice Pizza was called Soggy Bottom forever, and why now Amsterdam is called Canterbury Glass forever. Like, I got used to Licorice Pizza, uh,
Yeah,
but it was hard to transition. And it's gonna be the same thing with this. We've been calling this Canterbury Glass for like 3 years now, and
yeah.
they're like,
It's been about 3 years.
and they're like, no, it's Amsterdam, and it's like, okay, well, like I'll get
Yeah.
used to it.
I
But
don't know.
yeah,
Also, Canterbury Glass is just it's a cooler title than the
I far
name
prefer
than
Canterbury Glass.
Amsterdam. But we'll see. Maybe it makes more sense when we actually watch the film.
I mean, I believe it's taking place in Amsterdam, so
Okay, so yeah.
that would make sense. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a period like film. I don't know. We still haven't heard the best of
No,
the like.
no.
There was no footage shown, which I find really interesting. When so many other movies were showing footage or trailers, this is coming out before some of them, and still nothing
Still nothing.
after those
Mm.
test screenings.
We'll see.
Um,
We'll see.
we'll see. Um, Timothy Chalamet's Wonka film is a musical.
Okay.
If we didn't, if if his Golden Globe comedy or musical actor nomination wasn't already secure enough for
Yeah.
2024, this just confirms it. Like I don't know. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can sing, but whatever. I'm here for it. I mean, actually, I do know that he can sing. He went to like the Tisch School of like Performing Arts, and where they have to do like singing and dancing, and like he did musical theater stuff. So no,
Yeah.
he can sing. I don't know. I'm excited for this film. I like Timothy Chalamet quite a
Yeah.
bit. So
And I like Paul King. Like
the director,
that's
Paddington.
really,
Yeah,
yeah, that's really my main draw to this film because I mean, a prequel film about Willy Wonka and like, really,
whatever.
do we need that? But Paul King directing plus some Chalamet, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, and Golden Globe. It's a Golden Globe thing.
Yeah, totally.
Um, and not in like a bad way necessarily.
No,
This time.
no, not like in the way that Morbius is a Golden Globe thing.
Well,
This is actually a Golden Globe thing.
imagine they nominated Jared Leto. Well, I mean,
That would be incredible.
they nominated music. I really want that to happen,
Yeah,
just because our reaction will get lots of views.
yeah,
But the um, last piece out of CinemaCon, there was some new Elvis footage, and people liked it. I'm still
yeah.
not sold.
I
Uh,
mean, I don't think it'll be a great film, but will it be a bad film? I doubt it. I doubt it.
I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody was a bad film,
Well, yeah. Okay, okay.
so Um, but yeah. All right. So that's our CinemaCon talk. Got quite a bit of talk out of that. But now
Yes.
let's talk about some non-CinemaCon things.
Hmm.
Because there was still plenty of just regular news this week. Um, Starting with Decision to Leave has sold to Mubi in Mubi's biggest purchase ever. This is going on the Drive My Car path. Drive My Car sold to the Criterion Collection and Janus Films.
Mm.
This is going to Mubi, a smaller distributor that will make letterboxed people happy. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I like Sure. I mean, I'm sure Mubi will give this a theatrical release. I can't imagine
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
flop it straight onto streaming. Um, and yeah, why not?
yeah,
I think
yeah.
this
I
is a
mean,
great fit for it.
I'm happy to see maybe get something. They're always sending me emails.
Me
Well,
too.
not them personally, but because
Yeah,
I've been subscribed to them before, obviously. And it does seem like they care about films and the art of filmmaking in general. So I'm sure they
yeah,
will respectfully release this film and do what is necessary to make sure this gets to enough people as possible. Movie are not the type of people to just drop it on a streaming service and not tell anyone about it like uh,
absolutely,
like
absolutely.
Warner Bros, HBO Max, and yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, in other distributor news, A24 picked up the Ethan Cohen documentary Jerry Lee Lewis Trouble in the Mind that we found out was going to Cannes on Cannes Selection Day. Um, this feels like a good fit for it, like they just did his brother Joel's
Yeah,
film Tragedy of Macbeth. Yeah, Joel was probably like, "Hey, Ethan, A24 is good," and Ethan was like, "Okay, sick," and then brought it over to A24.
yeah,
I love that Coen Brothers are now A24 directors too.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great because picking up the Coen Brothers is just a great pickup in general for
Yeah,
A24. Like if they can continue working with, so most of the Coen Brothers work goes to A24. That's brilliant. In the same way, like Apple TV has a contract or whatever with Tom Hanks, or
yeah,
Zack Snyder and Netflix. That whole thing, A24 plus Coen Brothers, cool. I'm here for it.
and like most directors, like do a couple of films for A24, so that this is fun.
Hmm.
Um, it's a good fit for them. Is A24 the best at campaigning? Like,
No, no,
no.
not really.
But like they've had some great documentaries, so I'm excited. I'm excited. Excited to see the reactions. Um, last night distributor news. I called it. I've
You
said
called
it
it.
for like
You called it.
6 months now. Bardo is going to Netflix. It just made sense. Roma
Yeah,
there. Like they worked with Coron. They're working with Guillermo del Toro right now. Like they like working with like international directors. Like I believe there was Cold War Netflix.
Oh, it may have been.
Like Paul Pawlikowski. I can't remember if
Let's
that was
have a
Netflix.
look.
Uh,
Um, I
but
mean, it's
like,
not on Netflix currently, which
okay,
would
so
suggest
maybe not,
it's maybe not on Netflix film
maybe
then.
not. But like, even so, like they work with auteurs. They were Jane Campion,
Amazon.
Amazon. It was Amazon. Okay. But like they love to work with auteurs. Jane Campion, Martin Scorsese. Like they're working with Andrew Dominic now. Like they do these types of movies. This made sense. It really did just make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And I feel like this has jumped up to Netflix's biggest contender now
Maybe it could well be. Yeah,
because Netflix is really interesting because they're reporting massive loss in subscribers.
yeah. And
Uh,
then they're buying films.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they're losing money. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to put into awards campaigning this year because it clearly
no.
hasn't paid off so far. They tried
Mm,
forever to be the first streaming service, and Apple did one one year and took it.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah. Uh, but I mean, I don't know. I, f- I feel like it's kind of strange that the whole COVID thing is just being entirely ignored.
yeah.
Like
I mean, yeah,
I thought that was going to be a way bigger thing than I guess it's going to end up being.
yeah. We'll dig it back up once the film comes out. I'm sure.
Yeah, because like Netflix is buying it, it's going to be under a big platform, even though like Inarritu killed people while making like not physically, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know
No,
it was his decision to not
it
follow the
was. It
guidelines
was.
in the end, and people died as a result.
Mm,
Because like this was made independently, there was no studio that said he was the head of production, and he said let's do this, and people, I think it was like 6 people or something like that died on
yeah.
the production team. So
Wow.
like it, I I don't know. I because that feels like
Yeah.
such a yeah. So, anyways, um, I'm just happy that I predicted that. Uh,
Mm.
but let's talk about I Want to Dance with Somebody, which is what they said at the end of Jojo Rabbit. Spoilers, but
Yeah.
there we got a test screening to it, and you know how much we love talking about test screenings here at Oscar
We
Buzz.
do love talking about test screens.
In reading into every little thing that every person said about it.
Yep,
Um,
pretty much.
so reactions from what I've gathered said it's a standard musical biopic. It's 150 minutes long. So
Oh, okay. That
two and a
is
half hours. That's how long Respect was. I think Bohemian Rhapsody was pushing that length.
okay.
So like they said, people have said much like Bohemian Rhapsody, the performance reenactments are phenomenal, and they're the highlights of the
Hmm.
film. Um, Naomi Aki and Ashton Sanders are both incredible. Um, and but like other than that, the movie I don't know. It seemed very middling. The
Yeah,
reception.
yeah,
So I'm feeling, like I said, I think I'm feeling Naomi Aki and Naomi Aki alone on this. Like
yeah. And maybe not even that. Like, Jennifer Hudson didn't get it. So,
at least to be considered throughout award season.
yeah,
Like
I'd consider it. But,
Jennifer Hudson got that,
yeah.
and I think that
Mm.
this movie is going to be bigger than Respect.
Yeah, it's a better release date than Respect, for sure. Respect
Oh,
came
for
out in
sure.
September. This is December, I believe.
Yeah, it's getting a
Yeah,
December release date. So
yeah.
like, and I can't remember who's producing it, but it's like it's got a decent distributor. It also will have a supporting actor push with Ashton Sanders. Um, but like, yeah, it's produced. Sony is taking it, so
Okay.
and this will be more of a like a bigger push for Sony. I feel. Um,
Yeah, maybe.
so and it's from the director of Harriet as well, a previous Oscars contending film. Um, I believe Cynthia Erivo was nominated
I
um,
think she may have been, yeah.
for it.
That
So
that rings a bell.
this director with their last film got an actress in. I don't know. I feel like this. I feel decent about Naomi Aki. I do feel
Mm.
decent, and yeah, especially with the December 21st release date, I feel like Sony feels confident in this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. I just don't like musical biopics that much, at least from what we've seen of them so far. But we'll
Mm.
see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
We've talked about Persuasion a bit before, another Dakota Johnson vehicle.
Mm.
This one for Netflix, based off of the Jane Austen novel. We talked about it as potential costumes production design contender. It's getting to July 15th release date. This shows that Netflix really isn't trying to push
No,
it for
no.
awards.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
like,
streaming movie. It looks like it is going to be a streaming movie. And, that's fine. They can exist. They can exist.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we aren't going to be like, no streaming movie.
No,
Like,
yeah.
it's fine.
But yeah, they
Um,
are a genre within themselves nowadays, and
yeah,
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I don't usually like them, but you know, they're there. They're there.
yeah. And just any kind of potential speculation that we talked about, as far as costumes, production design, makeup, and hair, I don't think are going to happen.
No, no.
You could argue, well, Emma came out in May, but that was also COVID year. Like that was
Yeah.
also a big COVID shutdown year. So, like, yeah. Um. Okay. Neon picked up the Kitty Green thriller The Royal Hotel, starring Jessica Henwick and Julia Garner. So we're talking about a thriller with Jessica Henwick and Julia Garner. Uh, and I'm like, this isn't going to be a big thing. It's directed by Kelly Green, who did The Assistant, which got a couple Indie Spirit nominations. It was that film also starred Julia Garner. It also starred Matthew McFadden from Succession.
Yes. Yeah.
And that went to Telluride. It was distributed by Bleecker, so of course it didn't get anything at the
No.
Oscars, but I think it
Yeah.
got a couple like Indie Spirit Gotham shouts. But it's picked up by Neon. So Kitty Green, the director, those I believe her debut was The Assistant. So moving
Hmm.
up in the ranks from Bleaker to Neon. Um,
Yeah,
maybe. But I
I
could also
mean, yeah,
see this just
it's
being a repeat Indie Spirit Gotham contender.
yeah. I mean, it's a thriller which don't always hit with the Oscars. So yeah, I would agree. I this is definitely to me much more, as you say, independent for Gotham Awards,
Yeah,
which it maybe got a shot then. We'll have to see.
yeah.
But Oscars, no, no.
No, not feeling it. Here's another thing that I didn't put on the document, but Blake Lively is going to be making her directorial debut.
Hmm.
So normally, once again, you'd say, why are we talking about Blake Lively's directorial debut? You mean from Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Um, but
You mean the one that was with Ryan Reynolds or still is? I don't know. I
yeah,
don't I
not
don't pay attention
something
to
different together.
celebrity news.
Um, but Edgar
But
Wright is writing a screenplay for her and is producing it.
oh wow, okay,
So,
okay, okay. So
so
yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
I'm at least like relatively excited about it. It's based off of a graphic novel called Seconds, and Searchlight has already picked it up.
Wow. Okay.
So Blake
Okay.
Lively gets to come out and make her directorial debut with Searchlight producing her and Edgar Wright writing her a screenplay.
Yeah, and that is if that is not a clear indictment of it, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I don't know what is, but
Hmm. Yeah,
we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see.
maybe just a little bit. Like I wish that I could make my directorial debut
Yeah.
with Edgar Wright writing me a screenplay and Searchlight producing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
That
Uh,
would be cool.
but
That would be
but
more than cool. I'd say
yeah,
that would be
that would be
life
life changing.
changing. Yeah.
Um,
That would just be cool. Just be cool.
just like every other day. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Speaking of something that could be life changing for some filmmakers,
Mm.
is the Cannes Film Festival, which we'll talk about in just a second. Because first we have to talk about the Wicked musical adaptation.
Okay. I thought you were going to segue with something else that was cool, which would which would make more sense there. But no, okay. You made it more complicated for yourself.
I you,
You,
you've known me for a couple of years now.
yeah,
Like what?
yeah, yeah.
Is
You
that
took
not
the
a
challenge.
question? Uh,
No.
but yeah. So Wicked, pretty popular
Mm.
musical. It has a big fan base. I've never
Yeah.
listened to it, but I have
I
friends who
hate it.
quite a bit.
I despise it. But
Um,
that's me.
but it's going to be split up into two parts,
Mm.
2024 and 2025. I don't know. From what I heard about it, like this could be a musical hit with the Oscars. I don't know about like production design, costumes, that type of thing.
Mm.
It's an adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, which obviously was a big contender at the Oscars. Didn't
Yeah.
win Best Picture, lost to Gone with the Wind,
No.
but
Yeah.
was a really big contender. I think we could see something similar for Wicked. Um, but let's round out the news and talk about the Cannes Film Festival jury, because you can actually infer quite a bit from the Cannes jury
Mm.
about what we could see winning. Um, the president is Vincent Lin Dunn.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
Star of Teton.
exciting. Yeah.
He's incredible in Teton. He should have been nominated for an Oscar for Teton. Um,
Yes. Probably. Probably.
Either him or Woody Norman should have won. Um, in my humble opinion. But you know what's really interesting about this, Thomas?
What? What?
He is a longtime associate of Claire Denis,
Mm.
who has a film that starts at noon with A24. So he was
Okay.
even just in her last film that premiered at Berlin, Fire. So which that's coming out, I think, at least in the US in July. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like it just happened to be that Vincent Lindon wasn't at a film this year and Claire Denis has a film. It feels like the stars are aligning.
Yeah. The
Stars,
stars at noon are aligning. Hey,
stars
hey, cheap,
are
cheap
aligning.
pun there.
Um, for Claire Denis to potentially take home the Palme d'Or, which is what I
Yes.
predicted. And this only makes me feel even more confident about my prediction.
Yep. Yep.
Because like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 I uh I would just be so amazing to see Claire Denis take home the palm. She's, probably coming to the end of her directing career. To take home the
Mm.
palm, it's her home film festival. I think that'd be great. Other members of the jury, though, Oscar Ferrati. He was actually supposed to be the president, and then there was the whole plagiarism thing.
The whole plagiarism thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was removed. So once again, the stars just aligning
Mm. Yes, they are.
with like, yeah. But he's going to be there. Rebecca Hall is on the jury.
Okay. Nice.
Laj Lee is going to be there, who he is the director of Les Mis, which is what France submitted over Portrait of
Oh,
Lady.
in 2019, yeah, yeah. Still on my watch list. Still on my watch list for about 4 years now at this point, or
Yeah.
3 years. Wouldn't be possible for 4 years, would it?
Jeff Nichols is on the jury, director of Mud and Loving, and Take Shelter.
Mm.
I've never seen Mud. People have told me I should, though. The Ty Sheridan of it all scared me away.
The Ty Sheridan. Yes, yes. He's a scary individual, is that Ty
One of my
Sheridan?
favorite working actors.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
but I'm gonna mess this name up. Deepika Padukone. She's an Indian actress who does Hindi films. She's one of the highest paid celebrities in India, and
mhm.
I don't think anybody else has any idea who she is. But she's like, I think, a Bollywood star.
Okay.
So there's that. Naomi Rapace, who is the star of A24's incredible film Lamb.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So like, fun to see her here. I don't know. Like, I don't think that you can read like too much into like the jury,
Mm.
but I mean, like, it's still fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely still fun.
Do you just
Um,
see some names pop up here and there who
yeah,
you know,
like
you
Rebecca
don't
Hall.
think about Vincent Linden very often, but when you do, when his name is mentioned, it's a nice little surprise.
I mean, I think about Vincent London fairly often.
Well, I'm sure you do. Yeah.
Uh, a couple more here. Jasmine Trinca
Hmm.
is going to be on the jury. She's an Italian actress and director, and then
Okay.
also our boy Joachim Trier, director of The Worst Person in the
Oh,
World, is going to be
yes.
on the jury. So what else all jury? Even just like with some of the bigger names that we recognize: Joachim Trier, Rebecca Hall, Asghar Farhadi, Vincent Lindon, Jeff Nichols, like like it's a
Mm.
pretty fun jury. It's a pretty
Yeah.
fun jury. This only affirms my pick, my prediction of the stars at noon. Also be big for A24 to take a palm, which I don't believe that they've done yet. Neon did it with Parasite,
Mm.
but I don't. And Teton actually, Neon's won the last two palms.
Okay.
But be cool to see A24 take a palm.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure.
But yeah, and then there's also the juries for like all of the other, like the Uncertain Regard and the Camarador and all that. But like I have no idea who any of those people are, so we're not going to talk about them.
No. Okay.
Um, but that is it for a long news section. All right. I am going to go ahead and give my brief thoughts on the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent and the bad guys. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is very overrated. It has like a 3.8 or a 3.7 on Letterboxd. Everybody seemed to love it. I don't know if I just don't know how to have fun. Very possible. But like, I didn't enjoy this movie. Are there a couple of fun jokes? Yes. There is a particular joke about Paddington 2, which is one of the biggest laughs that I've gotten out of a film so far this year. The problem is that the like hit and miss ratio of the jokes is not great.
Okay.
And even considering that, because I can forgive that, but like it did some really fun commentary on Nicolas Cage's career, and it got very meta, like very very meta, to the point where there are like multiple Nicolas Cages in different stages of his career. which is quite fun.
Okay.
And like talking to different versions of himself. Like there are definitely some fun moments. There are some great film jokes. There's one particular one about SAG-AFTRA and how nobody knows what AFTRA is. Like there are some there are fun jokes, but like it gets meta to the point where it's about two characters writing a screenplay
Mm.
or an adult, like an adult action comedy. And they're like, we're going to make an adult action comedy, but we have to have some kind of hook. Like it's going to be a film for adults, but we have to have some kind of hook so that way people get in theaters because we aren't a franchise movie. Um, and then they're like, so then by the end, we'll probably just make it into like a standard action thriller, which is exactly what the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent then did. Like
Okay.
it was trying to be like, oh look, we're going to do the really basic thing, but then we're going to make fun of it, so it's okay. But like that doesn't make it
Yeah.
okay.
Which is exactly what F9 did last year.
Exactly what F9 did, and F9 is a great film.
Yes, F9 is great to be fair though. So it is a double standard,
both
but
put it at a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
it's just good fun, isn't it? F9.
I don't care. Like I will watch any Fast and Furious movie post Fast 5, like Fast 5 onward. I will watch any of those movies whenever.
Yeah, because why not? Why not? Life's too short to be all snobby about the F9 franchise. Well, not the F9,
The
Fast and
F9
Furious franchise. It's
Well,
just, that's the only one that matters.
Justin Lin dropped out of Fast and Furious 10. He's not going to be directing it.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, I want to see Julia Ducournau and Ryusuke Hamaguchi team up for it because they made very good car movies last year.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I thought you were just picking two random directors. No. Okay. That link makes sense now.
No, just like me. Yeah, no, let's see John Waters, Fast and Furious.
Because why not? Yeah.
But yeah, so they did that thing and it didn't work as well because let me tell you, like the back half of the film where it's just an action thriller is so boring.
Okay.
It's so boring. Like I was bored out of my mind. It's like so Thomas, you know how in action movies they have drug cartels?
They do, yes, and in real life, but yes, in action films they have them.
Yeah. But they're the bad guys, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
the U.S. government has to come in and like try to stop them.
yes.
Then you have to like go in and like get inside the drug cartel, and then
Yes, I have to go in and do that. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Cool. You've seen the second half of Unbearable.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Lovely.
and the ending is so bad. Like the ending is laughably bad. How the editing is, how the ending is cut together is just awful.
Okay.
There's a thing with like his daughter that just doesn't work at all. I don't know. It was fine. I had fun through part of it. Like I had fun when it was getting like it was like almost like a character study on like Nicolas Cage and felt very self-reflective. And then it just got so boring. When it's like, but now we're gonna get in cars and shoot people. And it was like, but that's okay.
Yeah. See, from the trailers, it looked like it would just be the Nicolas Cage meta self-reflecting stuff. But if it's not that, okay, that's disappointing.
It's half that. And also the message of the film is just the first verse of Bo Burnham's song "Art Is Dead," which was just my Letterboxd review. But yeah, the movie's fine. I'm going to give it a solid 5.
Okay, not terrible then.
Like I didn't dislike the movie. It's meh. It's okay.
Okay.
I also saw The Bad Guys, and it's a lot better than I was expecting. It's one of DreamWorks' best, and I can't remember how long.
Okay.
The animation is like actually pretty fun. I love almost like the watercolor pastel aesthetic that it was going for. The vocal performances pretty solid. Sam Rockwell's good. Zazie Beetz is very good. But she needs to be more stuff. She was one of my favorite. She gave one of my favorite supporting performances last year in 9 Days. She was like, even though I'm not in love with the movie, I thought that she was pretty good in Joker. even though her role and how it was written, I thought was really bad. Um, but like, I don't know. I think that she deserves a lot more roles. But she's fun in this. Like, there, this movie's just fun. And it also does make some pretty good commentary on like and like an indictment of like the prejudice amongst like like how we can perceive like criminals sometimes and just ascribe people to be a certain way and box them in um just in like how they are the laws enforced on them because of that and like is it the deepest commentary in the world? No, it's a DreamWorks movie, but like
Mm.
it's it still works. It still gets his message across in like not an incredibly ham-fisted way. The jokes don't entirely work. It's they're very much targeted towards like 4-year-olds, and let me tell you, my packed theater full of 4-year-olds and tired moms loved it. So
I'm sure they did.
but yeah, like the movie's fine. There's also so many references to like Tarantino and Soderbergh films, like Michael Mann films and like the visual style. So that was kind of fun. Um,
Okay.
they did some fun stuff with the animation. Like the opening scene is just almost like a parody of like Pulp Fiction. Um,
Right.
so
Nice.
they definitely it wasn't lazily made. Like
Right.
I had fun with it. It's like it actually I was worried that the heist element of it would get tired, but it really wasn't. It was a fun time. A fun time at the movies, as they say.
Yes.
But yeah, those are my thoughts, and that will probably get clipped out. So hi, um, future people. Uh, but let's talk about some trailers now. Things that we can both
Mm.
talk about.
Yes.
Let's start out with On the Count of Three. This is a film that premiered at Sundance 2021, so Sundance over a year ago now. It's coming out in the U.S. in May 13th, I think. Um, so soon, like 2 weeks from now. It's directed and starring Gerard Carmichael, who just had one of the best comedy specials I've ever seen. He's performing. He's great. I like very highly recommend it to everybody. It's called
Hmm.
Daniel. It's very very good. And this is his directorial debut. It was received very well out of Sundance. I think it even won like a screenwriting prize at Sundance. But he's
Nice. Nice.
directing, writing, starring. Um, I've heard nothing but good things. People are like, when is this coming out? It's coming out now. I'm excited for it. I like the trailer. It looked like a
Yeah.
fun comedy.
I thought the trailer was good. The concept is interesting.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. Like,
yeah,
I will probably try and check it out whenever it will be released. I don't imagine it'll be anytime soon. This
yeah.
feels like the sort of one that we may have to wait until next January to watch here in the UK. But uh, if I can ever get a chance to see it, yeah, I'll check it out because like the trailer did interest me for sure.
Yeah. Like it's got a 3.7 on Letterboxd. It's short. It's only an hour and 20 minutes. Like
Mm.
I could see this being a potential Indie Spirits or Gotham contender even this year. It most definitely gives that vibe,
Mm.
um, especially in screenwriting, because Jared Carmichael is fairly beloved. Like it looks fun. It looks like
Yeah.
a fun, like I said, looks like a fun black comedy. There isn't that much to discuss with it, but looks like a, you know, I'll just repeat what I said for the bad guys. Looks like a good time at the movies, don't you say, Jack? But the trailer that I'm really excited to talk about, bodies, bodies, bodies. I've been excited about this one for a while, just considering the cast. Like it has my girl Rachel Sennott, of Shiva Baby fame and praise. Well, unfortunately, not that famous, but
Not that famous, yeah.
if you like, I love Shiva Baby. It was one of my favorites of last year. Her being in an A24 movie was just like, and then plus
Yeah.
Pete, who is fairly controversial figure. I think he's a funny guy. I
Yeah.
like a lot
I
of
think he's funny as well. Yeah. Like,
I like a lot of his comedy. I think that he's severely underrated and underutilized on SNL. Um, and then there's also Maria Bakalova and Amanda
mm,
Stenberg. Like, very fun
yeah,
cast. It premiered at South by Southwest alongside Everything Everywhere All at Once for A24 slate. Um, it's got a 3.8 on Letterboxd. Letterboxd
yeah.
loved this out of South by Southwest. I'm excited. This trailer looks fun. It looks like, especially in the age where we're getting like a screen revitalization, like it's at a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes as far as critics rating out of South by
Mm,
Southwest. I
yeah.
think I don't know. I'm
I
excited.
mean, yeah, I know we say this about a lot of A24 trailers, but this one really does look very, very A24e. And yeah, I mean, it's an eclectic cast. It's not the cast I would have put together, but I mean, they're all people that I've seen, I've liked and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see how they all work together. Um,
It's a
and yeah,
fun
obviously
concept too.
A24. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
taking the game, like I mean, I don't think that this is like a real game, but taking like
No, I would hope
a
not.
game, like I can't remember what like they're called, but like just like fun like party games, where you're trying to figure out
Yeah,
who the serial killer is, and then it's like, oh, but there's an actual serial killer. Like
yeah.
this is coming nowhere near awards,
No, no, of
but
course not.
like on like we talk about both awards movies, and then also just like the
Good movies.
independent,
Yeah.
you know, uh, auteur um, realm of film
Mm.
here on Oscar Buzz. And this, like, it's A24.
Yeah, yeah.
We
How
weren't
could we
not
not
going to
talk
talk
about
about
it?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm quite excited. I like I think it's also writing like our generate like the pretentiousness of our generation fairly well.
Mm.
Um, just from what we've seen in the trailer, like like you just saw me, you're making this all about you. Like that's such a
Yes. There is. Yeah. It looks funny. It looks quite
it looks
funny.
very fun.
Yeah.
And like normally when I see like films like films about like the millennial Gen Z generations,
Mm.
like they're usually not that well written. It very much feels like adults writing, like
Yeah.
children. Like the performances always come across pretty wooden, but like this looks really fun. Like I mean, some of the best examples that I think I've seen of it are like eighth grade. I would put Shiva Baby up there as far as like writing like the dialect of millennials and Gen Zs. Like
Yeah.
I mean, and this
Yeah.
this looks to like fairly like it understands the culture without coming across in like a very cringeworthy way, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah. No, I do understand what you mean by that. Yeah. They films like this do often have a tendency to, yeah, become a bit cringy. But no, this doesn't completely agree. This doesn't look like it'll be falling into that trap.
Yeah, so very excited about this come August. Um, like we said, no, I don't even think like Indie Spirits Gotham, but
Nah,
I'm
probably not.
excited about I'm so excited about this.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, let's get into some questions and round out the show. A pretty good length on the show today, which is fun.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
getting some good episodes. All right, so we'll be dressing this more. We'll be recording it right after, and you'll see the video soon. But the Emmys, they're coming up. Nominations are in I think July, so pretty soon in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And the actual Emmys will be in September. So we said we will be covering them. Our first Emmys predictions will be up within a few days after this episode gets released. But let's just ask, what's the best? And we can just talk about some of our favorite TV shows of this Emmys season. I'll let you go first.
Well, I mean, there is only one TV show in this Emmy series that is, in my top five of all time. Like, yeah, I mean, it's Succession. It's obviously I'll talk about some other ones as well, but easily my favorite is Succession. And everyone's already talked about why Succession is an amazing show. I don't
This is
think I
great.
could add much to the
Yeah.
conversation really. Another one I'd also throw out there is I really did enjoy Better Call Saul.
Okay.
I'm a bit late onto the sixth season, like it's currently airing now. currently not seeing any of them, but I will. I'll probably binge it all when it all comes
Yeah.
out. But like it's not Breaking Bad. I don't think anyone is claiming it to be Breaking Bad. It is slower than Breaking Bad, but it is. I do think it's still a very very good show, and it's still definitely worth a watch. If you did enjoy Breaking Bad, I still think you will find a lot and get a lot out of watching this show.
So I've never seen Breaking Bad. But I do plan on watching as much of Better Call Saul as I can for our Emmys
Yeah, and you
coverage.
can. Yeah,
Okay, because
yeah.
it's a prequel, right?
It is a prequel, yes. So you may
Okay,
be spoiled on what happened to one side character, and that's about it, though.
okay,
So because they like start with flashes to the future and to the actual continuity. So
yeah,
one side character you may be spoiled on. Other than that, yeah, go ahead watch it.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, a couple that also are out, like obviously also
Yeah,
Succession. Um,
obviously, obviously,
Thomas, after begging me to watch it,
yes,
I,
yes,
I should screenshot all of the Discord DMs.
yeah,
Which to be fair, I'd also done for you with
yeah,
like Teton, but
yeah. It was most sign-offs. I'd say watch Succession.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Most of the time we get done with the conversation, you're like bye, and also,
Yeah,
but I finally did it. I don't regret it. I watched it all over the past couple months. It's great. Like
it
just some
is.
of the best writing, some of the best acting, some of the best editing. Like just in media,
Mm.
like film,
Yeah,
television, whatever. Over the past couple years, like it's really, really great. So obviously that. Couple other ones like obviously also like Ted Lasso. Everybody loves. I think that it's good. Like it's probably a solid 8 for me. I'm not
mm.
like in the like over the moon love territory
Yeah.
for it, but I
Yeah,
think
no, I
fun show.
wasn't that struck on it, but I think you put it perfectly when you said it's definitely a show for Americans,
Who grew up
rather
in
than
British culture. Yeah,
yeah. And as someone who's British, I didn't gain much out of watching Ted
yeah,
Lasso, but I mean it was good enough because Ted Lasso is a very or Jason Sudeikis, I should say,
uh-huh.
is a very watchable person.
Yeah, and he's quite good. Like I
Yes, yeah,
after watching it, I definitely understood why
yeah,
he won the Emmy prior and why
for
he
sure.
most likely will be the front runner this year to win again.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I don't have that much of a problem with it. And like why honestly the entire cast is so
mm,
highly regarded. Like it's a very they're like everybody just has great comedic timing. It's a very fun written show. Like is it the most effective? Does it like look the best? No,
mm,
but it's fun. It's fun. But like rivaling Succession for like my favorite show of the season is Hacks, which granted season 2 hasn't come out yet, which would be the qualifying season, but season 1 is great. Jean Smart is phenomenal. Hannah Einbender in her breakthrough role is great. It's some of the most smartly written comedy. And just like we were talking about with Bodies, Bodies, Bodies in our trailer discussion of it, like it really gets um, the thought processes of, I would say, young people. And
mm,
it's because it's the concept of the show is you have this old
yeah,
comedy star played by Gene Smart and this young up and comer who's been canceled over some insensitive tweets played by Hannah Einbender. And like I was initially tentative that it was just going to be like a bunch of generational gap humor. But it's like they do it but in a way that I haven't seen before that's like it's very very smartly and sharply written. It's 10 like 25 to 30-minute episodes. It's really tight. It has a clear, structured narrative that isn't like it isn't very predictable. Like I don't know. I went in with like medium expectations and was really surprised by how much all of it worked for me.
nice. Yeah, that is definitely one I want to get on.
So yeah, but it's TV shows. I'm getting
Yeah,
more into them. I was like, no, I'm just gonna watch movies for a while. It was like it's a fun world. It's a fun world.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
still yet to see Squid Game. I still want to see Euphoria and Ozark, and I want to see Severance a lot. Like I really want to see Severance. I've heard amazing things about Severance.
Mm.
Yellow Jackets as well. There's still plenty of TV that I need to catch up on, but overall, that's where we're at as of now.
Yeah.
And to round out the show, so the question was the best pair of screenplay winners in the last 5 years. Um, but we can do even further. We can rank them.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll go ahead and lay them out. So for 2020, so 2021, we had Coda and Belfast, which like just give initial thought. Like it's not the
Yeah.
best, especially when like our combination could have been like I don't know, the worst person in the world and the power of the dog
Yeah. Or I mean, if you're picking
out
the
in
two
comedy.
best, like worst person who wouldn't drive my car, that would be a
Yeah.
that'd be a
Oh,
great
like
thing.
obviously, yeah. Like those two would have been incredible.
Yeah.
I like honestly, Drive My Car and Power of the Dog are fairly interchangeable for me and
Yeah.
adapted, but
I
worst
mean,
person
but
in
the
the world.
thing is, I would have rather seen Power of a Dog and Licorice Pizza probably as,
Yeah.
which were probably the two second places. I would have. I think they are better screenplays than Coda and
Oh,
Belfast. I
100%.
probably prefer Coda and Belfast, but in terms of the screenplay award, Licorice
Yeah.
Pizza very much should have beaten Belfast,
Yeah.
and Power of a Dog very much should have beaten Coda.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's our 2021. I don't think we'll be seeing that at the top of the list.
No.
2020, we have The Father and Promising Young Woman. We both rewatched Promising Young Woman recently, and like I feel like a month ago, this might have had a serious shot at potentially winning.
Yeah.
Um, I see
Right
Promising Young
now.
Woman screenplay as a bit weaker.
Yeah. Right now, I think this is one very good screenplay and one
Good.
yeah, mixed screenplay. I'd say mixed because there are certain elements of the screenplay that I really don't
I
like,
think the
and those
screenplay
are
is one of the
more
weakest elements.
yes, because it just gets very preachy. It gets very we are sending a message with this film, and I'm just like, yeah, I get what you're doing. You don't need to tell me what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the father, I do think does drag it up a bit
Yeah.
because it's a great
Drag it
screenplay. The
up,
father,
pull it up, but
put it up. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
you don't drag.
No,
I mean,
you're
you could,
right.
but
You
I feel like
could,
you
yeah.
typically drag something down.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
English, a hard
English.
language.
It is.
Um, 2019, solid year. Parasite and Jojo
Solid year.
Rabbit.
Mm. Yeah,
It's a really solid year.
it is a really solid year because Jojo Rabbit just a lot of fun. Just a fun like I thought that film was very funny the first time I watched it.
Mhm.
Rewatched it recently. And, it's not as funny on the second watch.
Yeah,
I don't know if it completely holds up the comedy, but it's still a tight screenplay. It still
like
works.
it's not
And
Parasite, but
yeah,
like
and Parasite. I mean, what do we
what
need to say about the Parasite
it's
screenplay?
Parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I also rewatched Jojo Rabbit recently, and it's like I still like it quite a bit. I still think it's a
Mm.
very good film. But yeah, I definitely didn't like it as much as the first time.
Mm.
I think that there are definitely things that hit really hard on the first time. I don't even want to say spoilers because I want people to watch the movie because I still do think it's very good.
Yeah.
2018. I think that so it's Green Book and Black Klansman.
Mm.
I think there's one great film and one bad film here. I like Black Klansman a lot, and I despise Green Book.
Yes, yes. It's been 3 years since I've watched Green Book, but I remember quite enjoying it. And I also enjoyed Black Klansman. However, I don't think this will be the screenplay
Yeah,
like the winners here, because
Black Klansman's
you know
a very tight screenplay, though. Like,
it's a quiet side screenplay. Yeah,
yeah,
Green Book screenplay isn't great. It's in fact a much worse than Promising Young Woman in terms of the preachy element to it.
uh huh.
But far worse. So I'd
And
maybe put
audiences with
this.
great messaging sometime.
Hmm, no, no, yes. I wouldn't probably put this bottom, but I'd definitely say this one's near the bottom.
I it might be the well, no, I forgot. 2021 exists.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd say Coda and Belfast would be
yeah.
bottom.
Well, it's close. Um, yeah, yeah.
I'd put Coda and Belfast bottom, but yeah.
But yeah. I mean, we all know that Spike Lee should have, won so many Oscars
Mm.
beforehand, but like, especially for just Do the Right Thing alone. But I'm glad
Yeah.
that he finally got one for Black
Yeah.
Panther.
Yeah.
And then 2017, Lady Bird should have been somewhere. Let's all be honest. But Get Out and Call Me by Your Name, two very strong screenplays.
I think this is a very solid one. I really do. Yeah. Love Call Me by Your Name.
Me too.
Just as a film in general, I don't know if the screenplay's the best element to it, but it's a very
I
strong
think it's
screenplay.
one of the best elements. Yeah,
I would. It's a very very strong screenplay, and Get Out. I think that is, it's another really great screenplay. This is a
one of the
very
most
solid one.
well-written horror films I think
Yeah,
of all time.
probably.
Like, I mean, and yeah, like Call Me by Your Name. Like, I don't know, it gives me lots of Before Sunrise vibes and like Before
Yeah,
Sunrise vibes, which
yeah,
Before Sunrise is one of my favorite films of all time, in my top five of
yeah.
all time. So yeah, but all right, let's get going. Number five. I think I will. Well, no, I'm going to go 2018. I dislike Green Book that much that I will say 2018. I think that Green Book should have won the
Okay.
Razzie for worst screenplay.
I'd put Coda Belfast last.
So I'm
I
assuming that
would.
we're switching for then our five
Yes,
four.
I would agree.
So
Yeah,
yeah, which I don't know. I hate that Black Klansman would be that low.
but
Um,
I mean,
for my
yeah,
for but like Green Book is yeah. But then yeah, my fourth would be Coda Belfast. Just two of the most forgettable basic Oscar bait
yeah, pretty
screenplays.
much.
They're fine. Okay, so I'm curious to see now for my third. I'm going to be going 2020, Promising Young
Yeah,
Woman,
yeah,
and
completely agree.
uh, The Father, because The Father's great. The Father's one of the best on here. Promising Young Woman brings it down a bit.
Mm.
Okay, so the top two. I think we all knew that these were going to be the top two. Are the
Yeah,
combo? I think this is the only year where we have two great screenplays.
yeah.
So Thomas, what are you going? 2017 or 2019?
Right. So here's the thing. I think that if you are doing a combined,
Mm-hmm.
one year has the best and the worst out of these four, and the other year
Yeah.
has then the second and the third. So
Yeah.
it's what do you place more emphasis onto? I'm going to go with, and this is the best. The question is the best pair. So
Yeah.
I will be saying 2017. I
Okay.
will be putting that first, as because they have, Parasite is the best screenplay out of these four.
Potentially of the decade.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you could dispute that, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I think Jojo Rabbit, it's a good screenplay. It's just not a great screenplay. Whereas I think, like Get Out, Come by Name, and that pair, like they're such different movies, and that just really,
Yeah.
it really emphasizes, I mean, not that Jojo Rabbit and Parasite are,
The
they
same.
are very different. They are very different as well. But you get what I'm going for. I
Yeah.
would say 2017 has the strongest pair of screenplay winners.
So I would agree that I would probably rank these Parasite, Call Me by Your Name, Get Out, and then Jojo Rabbit.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go 2019 just because like how they would actually be ranked is like Parasite, space, Call Me by Your Name, Get Out, Jojo Rabbit.
Okay.
Like, I think that Parasite is just so far above that you could have put Parasite with any film that was like a
Green Book.
3.5 stars and above for me. Like
Parasite and
3.5,
Green
4
Book. Do you
stars.
think that? Where do you think that would have ended up?
What?
Parasite and Green Book.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. So are we swapping Jojo Rabbit and Black
Yeah.
Klansman?
Yeah.
Uh, Jojo Rabbit and Black Klansman would actually be fairly high.
It would be. Yeah. Yeah. But you're giving a handicap to Parasite.
Honestly, I think in that case, I would go Call Me by Your Name, Get Out. Honestly, I would probably go Call Me by Your Name, Get Out, then Jojo Rabbit, Black Klansman, then
Yeah.
Parasite, Green Book.
Yeah. Which. Yeah. Okay.
Because, yeah. But yeah, Parasite's just that good to me.
Mm.
And I still do like Jojo Rabbit quite a bit, even if I would agree Call Me by Your Name and Get Out are superior to it.
Mm.
But yeah, I thought that would be a fun question. I think it's fun to do some ranked questions, some things where we can discuss
Yes.
Oscars of
Yes.
past. But
It's not like we have a whole show for that, but
I know,
you know.
well, we aren't talking about the screenplays there.
No, no.
But that's the show.
Mm.
And thank you everybody for watching. This is a longer episode, but I think this was a fun episode.
Sure.
There was plenty to discuss, plenty to digest with CinemaCon. We have Emmys predictions coming very soon. We're excited about it. It's gonna be a fun time. Until then, Thomas, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Letterboxd at Thomas Gladstone, and there might be stuff coming on the Project Mayhem YouTube channel
Nice.
in the future. There might be, I say that, not definitely, but if you want to go check out there, yeah, sure, do that.
I'm on The Basement with my co-host Mara Kanapik, who we might be getting back to some shows. Mara's feeling a bit better, which is great. So hopefully we'll be getting back and we'll be talking about just everything that came out in April. But we'll also I can also be found on Twitter at Team Talks Movies, Letterboxd Trevor Matson, and on the Banana Meter. But stay safe, everybody. And goodbye. And also thanks for watching. That too.
Yeah.